All right, welcome to part 7 of Black Lodge Trivia Night's Dark Souls run. Again, I'm Art. I'm going to pick it up where we left off. Last time, I think we did some Four Kings. I think we did some Ash Lake. We did some... What was the other thing we did? We did Four Kings. We did Seath the Scaleless. Did Ash Lake. We got down here. We went looking for Sigmire, and I couldn't find him. So I Googled it. And I think I did something stupid, which is not a surprise. But what we want to do is I think we want to go to the Chamber of the Princess. I don't think I ever checked on Sigmire after I busted through the Silver Knights that were blocking him in. I don't know if you need to go back and check on him, but if that is something you need to do, I did not do it. So I figure let's go take a quick look. That's very much something I could see myself doing, is just sort of skipping ahead or forgetting a step. But hopefully if we find him there, we can say, hey, you're free to go. Then he says, thank you. Then hopefully we can run into him at Firelink. And then hopefully we can run into him down near Blighttown. And then hopefully we can run into him in the Demon Ruins of Isolith or whatever it's called. And take care of his story. Spoiler alert, part of what I love about one of the many things I love about his story is that it ends in Ash Lake. One of my favorite areas. And it's a fitting, when you see the ending to the story, it's a very fitting ending to a very tragic story. Now I confess I don't actually recall I think I have to go up to the roof. Yeah, let me run up to the roof. Well, I might not have to go all the way up to the roof. Hopefully I've opened the doors. Nope, not that one. You know what? Lose track of which ones become... All right, let's try this the other way. I just want to say, I know not everything is always to everyone's taste, but I appreciate everybody who's been checking out these shorts or checking out the areas.
What's on your mind? Wait. Fantastic. Take this.
There we go.
Next time, give me a chance to come up with a...
So that's the thing. Next time, give me a chance to come up with a plan. That's sort of the key to his whole storyline. We talked about before. He wants to be noble, he wants to be a hero, and he's not all there. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for, again, I know, oops, not everything is to everybody's taste, but, we've had a number of people check out the shorts, had people checking out these Let's Plays themselves. And, we really do appreciate it. See if I can... Nope. The one I could block, parry, I blew. But, we're just, trying to enjoy playing these games and, sharing it sharing our enjoyment of these games if there are people out there that could get some kick out of it. So, for the people that have checked it out. Thank you. And there's a lot more to come. You know, again, mostly we try and do actual plays of tabletop RPGs, but it's easier to pump out, you know, video game stuff, especially Soul stuff, because at least Matt and I are huge fans of the Soul series. And, you know, playing actual RPGs, you know, takes a lot more work, so we can't get those out as much as all these other ones. So we appreciate that. Hopefully there are people that find something to enjoy in one or the other or both. There he is. So now let's see if he's going to tell us that he's heading to Blighttown.
Well, fancy meeting you here. You did much for me up above. I am grateful. You know, I was thinking the gate, the old fortress. Is that your doing?
Sure was.
Yes, I knew it.
Sort of get a glimpse of him through the slit.
Well, am I fortunate? This Knight of Katarina thanks you sincerely. Please, take this as a token of my gratitude.
Nice.
There you are.
See if he tells us where he's going. Okay.
There's nothing worthwhile up above. No worries. Venturing is my life. I'm prepared for the worst.
Slightly sinister laugh, maybe, you know, starting to...
There you are.
Okay. Okay, so now we know he's... let's get the rusted ring going. And let's warp down to Blighttown, or I guess we gotta warp down to the spider... Daughter of Chaos. So while I was looking up, then I also looked up the last step. So the last step to Sigmayr's quest involves finding him in the Demon Ruins of Izalith, or whatever they're called. And it's a sort of odd combination. He has to... There's a fight that he wants to participate in. And he's like, bro, you gotta let me help. And so you have to let him help, but you have to let him help the right amount. He has to participate in the fight and survive with half of his health left. More than half of his health, 50 or more %, I think. If you can do that, then what happens is he moves on to the next steps. If you can't do that, I don't know, his quest line just sort of ends. I don't actually know what happens. So there's like 4 or 5 things that you have to fight. And what the conventional wisdom is you kill most of them, leave one, call him in, and then try and dispatch it as fast as possible so he stays pretty healthy. I believe that's the sort of pro move to get it done. Now, I don't know if you have to do all of that and then introduce the new NPC to his quest line, or if you can introduce the new NPC to his quest line before that. I guess we'll find out, right? I think I see somebody off in the distance behind some of the taller vines. Or is it just a slug? Yeah, I might still not know where he is. Or maybe he's not down here yet, but I feel like he says he's coming. That should be all we need to trigger it. But in classic Sigmayr fashion, he gets stuck again. And we need to have some of the purple moss to get him out of his jam. He sort of gets confounded by the swamp. And now I still don't exactly know where to find him. I just thought he was down here near the base of the hollow tree or whatever this is called. Oh, there he is. Okay, cool. You know what? I might not be able to. Okay, I gotta deal with this. Big sweep. Maybe gets more than one. No. Okay, let's try this again.
Oh ho! Excuse me, I was so absorbed in thought I just drifted away. You see, I'm actually in a bit of a fix. I've made it this far, but I'm short on antidote moss for the trip back. By my knighthood, I'm ashamed to ask, but can you spare a few scraps of moss?
It's okay, I got you, bro. I think you need 3.
A saint you are. This knight of Katarina expresses his deepest gratitude. I shall not forget this. Please, take this, a symbol of my appreciation.
Nice.
Our fates do seem entwined, don't they? Perhaps this, too, is the will of Lord Gwyn.
All right, so let's. I guess I could homeward bone, but I'm starting to run out a little bit. So let me make my way back over to this bonfire we were using to do the spider boss run, and we'll warp back to Firelink and go from there. Or maybe we warp to... Well, let's warp to Firelink real quick. Then let's warp to... At some point we need to go back to the front of the Duke's Archives. Let's go to Firelink first. The reason why I've got to go to the front of the Duke's Archives is to wrap up Big Hat Logan and to get the pendant from the golem now that we know. Okay, and to do that, nobody's here. Let's warp to the Undead Parish. Do a quick run through Sens, get gargoyled up. Because I think the only one you can teleport to into the Duke's Archives is the one near Seath for the boss run. So we want to go to the other side, and it's just easier for me at least. Because I get turned around, as I said in the last session, a lot in the library with the rotating staircase. I wonder what people think. Again, not that I expect, comments or anything, but but I do read them, and I'm just kind of curious, like, now that Elden Ring is a thing, where do the old games stand for you? Nothing beats the OG, or, there's still something there, but I've moved on to Elden Ring and all the quality of life and mechanic improvements and et cetera, et cetera. Is everybody like, the hell with all this noise? It's Bloodborne and Sekiro for life? I don't know. I'm just curious where people land. At some point I wonder, I know Matt was playing some Dark Souls 3. I don't know if it's ever going to end up on the channel, so I'd rather his playthrough go up because he's a better Souls player than I am. But I'd be curious if he would ever try Dark Souls 2. My guess is no. And I'm wondering if anybody will ever try Dark Souls 2 in this way on Black Lodge. Not to be like a cliche Souls player, I really don't like Dark Souls 2. There are a lot of people out there, you know, like on Fireside Chat. I know Austin Walker used to be on Giant Bomb and Waypoint Radio, and I feel bad. I don't know where he ended up. I think he's working with developers at this point. So I don't know. We'll see. But they're like big Dark Souls 2 apologists. And it's very easy to have like a knee-jerk, I didn't like it reaction to Dark Souls 2. I did beat it. And again, I couldn't tell you about the story. So it's not like I'm criticizing it on story points, but I really remember not enjoying how it played. And for me, that's going to be the thing, right? Because if I'm going to spend 60 or 70 hours on something, I don't know what it would take now. I'm like, eh. So I played Dark Souls 2 before Sin of the Scholar or whatever it was that sort of tweaked it and changed it up. I don't know if I've ever done any of the DLC. I just didn't care enough to do it. Scholar of the First Sin, that's what it is. So who knows? Let's take a seat. All right, let's see how this goes. Hopefully I remember this right. I'm hoping it's just everything's right up here. I would really be curious to know why that one in particular. Wow. That's humiliating. All right, let's try that again. I don't know if they still do it, but speedrunners used to be able to sort of sequence break Duke's Archives by, I don't know if it was this elevator or a different elevator, but basically you jump off the edge of an elevator, or you get on the railing of the elevator. It's not this one, and you're able to sort of jump over something that lets you skip the whole initial death with Seath. You can just go right to the rest of the level. This is humiliating. Just want to get my stupid business before I die again. Okay, there's a broken pendant. I don't know why he has it. Let's keep going before I die again. There we go. Where am I trying to get to? This might be a problem, as I don't remember how to get to the... I mean, it can't be that hard, right? He said as he tries this for the third time. I don't even know if it's worth actually finishing Big Hat Logan's story. I don't recall what you get for it. Still not getting the backstabs. This is going to go poorly. All right. Let's split these two up a little bit, hopefully. All right, here we go. Cut around, mop up, and then deal with this guy last. Let's see. Oh. I was like, can I just keep going? Do I have to deal with that? Basically, we need to find an elevator. I don't know if there's an elevator. No, it's not that side. Whoop. This has to be it, right? Hopefully. I think this is the elevator you can sequence break on. You can somehow get on the railing. I think it's this one. And then you can jump over one of these platforms onto the other landings, and then you're sort of off to the races, but I couldn't tell you how to do it. All right. This should be the conclusion of Big Hat Logan's story, and of course, like most of them, it's not a happy ending. Looks legit. The chain goes back. It's the right color. There's the large magic ember. So you can get, I guess your magic weapons up to plus 15. All right. I thought Logan was in here waiting for you. Well, maybe there's a way to get him to... I don't care that much about his storyline, but it does end there. I guess, missed a step. So maybe he ends up somewhere else before going hollow, somewhere here in the archives. I'm not really sure. But I think what I can do now, because nobody wants to watch me fumble my way through all that, let's Homeward Bone. So we got the pendant, so we're all set for the DLC whenever that time comes. Ooh, not quite. Let's get a level. getting close. All right. Let's warp back to... Where do we want to go? I think we want to go to the Duke's Archives. Hopefully it's the other side. Let's see if we've unlocked what we need to do to get the next NPC in Sigmayr's quest line going. Yes, there we go. All right. So here we are. We got a gold golem to deal with. Much like we did for Princess Dusk. There we go. All right, let's introduce ourselves.
It was you who rescued me. Why, thank you. I am Ziegland of Katerina. I don't know how I ended up in that crystal. It wasn't terrible in there, but I could hardly move. I must think of some way to repay you. Oh, have you seen my father? You wouldn't miss him. A suit of armor just like mine. Thank goodness. I knew he was here somewhere. Well then, now I must find him. Thanks again, truly. Now if you'll just stay put and keep out of trouble.
He does not stay put. He does not stay out of trouble.
Thank goodness.
Okay, so we've done everything we need to do here. Let's head back. Let's get to that bonfire. And maybe let's warp back to Firelink Shrine. Maybe we're able to warp ahead to the Demon Runes at this point. Maybe we've done everything we need to do to advance Sigmayr enough to wrap up his story.
Oh, hello again. You're both managing quite well, aren't you? But I haven't found my father yet. Have you seen him? Really? Then I must be off. I'm sorry he's caused you trouble. He has a knack for that. If you just stay put.
I think that's it. I think that's all we need to do. Let's warp now down to... I think we're going to go to the Daughters of Chaos. Because we've unlocked a shortcut down into the Demon Runes. And I guess we could take the shortcut that we spent all the humanity unlocking, but as I was saying in the past, then we sort of miss a ring that lets us walk on lava a little bit. And forget what else. I guess a optional mini-boss if we care about that. Another thing I'm curious about, I was asking about, like, again, not that I expect people to leave comments, but I'm curious though. When you... how do I... The first time I played through this game, 70, 80 hours. Now it's a, 15-hour experience. And that kind of feels right. Like I kind of miss the old days of like the first Fable where a game could last 15, 20 hours and you sort of played it. You got the whole thing, right? Like, I think Dark Souls 3, at one point, again, this is just probably me hearing stuff on the internet and not knowing what's right, but my fear is that I didn't write, whatever. Okay, if this is, this is the optional boss. I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess. It's again an example of Dark Souls' camera not doing it any favors. Okay, so mine... Usually the way I do this is I run over here because there's a bigger area. Let's see how it goes. Again, this is going to be like a boss that kind of flails around and it's just going to be a hot mess. Not hitting, I guess. I'd love to get a shot at it. I mean, it's got some similarities to the demon in the sewers. See, I can't even... I gotta go hit its legs, but... I think you can cut off its tail. I don't know if I ever have. Okay, so yeah, the orange charred ring. Let's get that on. And there we go. Now we can run across lava, and it's sort of like the lava damage now that you get in Elden Ring without the ring. It's one of those sort of surprises, in Elden Ring you sort of you're trained to freak out when you see lava, and then all of a sudden you just touch it and you're like, oh, I'm fine. And there you go. So yeah, clearly the shortcut lets you bypass that, but I guess we need to do this to talk to Solaire.
Why? Why? After all this searching, I still cannot find it. Why? After all,
Okay. I think if we hadn't done the secret passage, though, he might not have gotten to this point, or he doesn't get to the next point. Because he would get trapped and killed by the creatures in the hallway. Let's level up one more. Let's see. So I guess this is why I never know if the shortcut's actually worth it overall besides saving Solaire, because, you know, it wasn't like that was a terrible tax on your time. It's just a little bit of extra work. But then you get into this. We're into Lost Izalith, and this is where everybody's like, ugh. So you basically get like copy and paste dragon legs everywhere. And I guess you got to be careful and not get attacked by them. But for the most part, they can leave you alone. And there is a bonfire in here behind a secret door. And it's actually my preferred starting point for making this run. That's why, again, like, except for saving Solaire, I don't know if I care that much about the shortcut. Some of these things are alive, so you just got to be careful. I don't think this is the... I'm sure somebody's marked it, so we'll just keep exploring. It's one of these. I think it's the next one, though. I don't know if there's anything up top there. I don't think I've ever really explored here. I feel like I see something off in the distance. I don't know if I care enough. Well, obviously I'm going to go take a look because I don't know if I've ever seen it before. After you play this game like 10 times, you sort of forget what I've done and what I haven't done already. And I also actually have no idea what a Divine Blessing does. I know they're making a new Fable, and I'm looking forward to it. I just kind of hope that they... I hope they don't, I know a lot of people love Fable 2. I really loved Fable 1. And again, for me, it was like a great mix of being like 20 hours, not terribly challenging, but interesting. I really enjoyed it. And so I kind of hope they stick to their guns. With the new one. Fable 2, I think, is the one that everybody considers like the classic. And I definitely enjoyed that one as well, but I think that's the one that people really enjoy for the story. You know, it's got probably the best story of the trilogy. And but there's something about the first mechanics that I liked. That I liked more. The second one, I think they you could almost compare it a little bit to Demon Souls. There was just sort of a clunk to it that I didn't mind. Is this not the one? Oh, there we go. Now, do I kindle this one, or do I just go for it? At this point, I could probably kindle it and not have it be a big deal, but... Oh, I guess you can sort of see a difference. Okay. So I think I've been saying this before. This is often considered like the worst level of the game. And honestly, well, I guess thinking it through, it's not my worst level. My worst level is the Tomb of the Giants. I genuinely think it's just terrible. There's a couple ways you can get through the Tomb of the Giants. Like, knowing that it's coming, I get a, I make sure I can cast light. Just so I don't have to deal with it. You can also get a skull lantern, but then you have to give up your shield. That's usually the easiest way to get a light in this game. And then the third way is, of course, if you unlock the shortcut, the little bugs that we were killing. Sometimes one of them drops a helmet that is like a spelunking lamp. It gives off light. So that's usually the preferred way. You don't want to deal with you don't want to deal with not having a shield in the Tomb of Giants. It's too many jump scare, dog crap attacks, and you just want to be able to fight normally. And the enemies there hit hard. Very, very hard. And there's probably some good things to collect down there, but it's gotten to the point where I just try and get through it as fast as possible, get from the first bonfire to the second, and then from the second to the boss. I think it's the boss run. So here's the shortcut, right? And Sigmire should be just up ahead here. So let's figure this out, because this is the critical part. This is, like I was saying, he's got to help out, but he's got to survive with 50% of his health. Anything else, his quest line ends. So it's a pretty precarious finale to, well, it's not the finale, but you know what I mean. It's pretty precarious to get it to work out. There we go. To get it to work out exactly right. And so I'm starting to realize I did not plan for this. The ideal way to do this is to have a ranged weapon, and I just don't have it. I've got a pretty good black halberd. Maybe I can kill them fast enough, but God. I shouldn't, well, all right, let's see how it goes. I should leave, go buy arrows somewhere, and do this properly, but maybe I can kill him quick enough. But this could all come to a screeching halt right here, and that would be tragic, because it's so many steps to get to this point. Yeah, I don't have anything, but let me get the rusted iron ring, so at least I can move a little quicker.
I will rush the fleas, friend, by the honor of the knights for now.
Okay, so here we go. Let me see how quickly I can kill these guys. Let's see, one, yeah, poison, who cares? 2 shouting's not bad. Okay, 2 down. 3 down. Where's the next one? Oh no. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I feel like we had it. Well, maybe not. I mean, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I couldn't tell. Was there like a, was there a, health bar over him? I didn't see anything to indicate how he was doing. Maybe he was already below that health when he got blasted there at the end. Oh, man. That sucks. It's also like the most Dark Souls. I don't know where I'm going. It's the most Dark Souls-y thing. You know, you come all this way and then bleh. Man, I really wanted that quest line to come to fruition. I mean, the Titanite slab... Oh, what's this? The Titanite slab is great, you know, obviously, but we don't need it. So I wasn't really doing it for the equipment. Oh, okay. I guess that's for, like, fire weapons. Again, which we don't need, but... I'm actually honestly, like, bummed out. So much time tracking that all down. Well, again, like I said a million times, I'm bad at this. So it was a poor judgment on my part. And, I mean, what are you going to do? Also, fuck these guys. Seriously, you cost me my Sigmire conclusion, and I will never forgive. Oh well. Oh well, what are you going to do? Disappointing. But, you know, I didn't have what I needed to do it, and I was a little impatient. And that's how it happens. Now I gotta remember how to get out of here. So we won't see the end of the storyline. I totally just blew that. I also don't know how to get out of here. So now I'll just tell you the way the storyline is supposed to end, if I didn't completely mess it up, is he survives with over half his hit points and he goes hollow, I believe. He continues on his quest because he's been it's been reinforced that, oh, maybe I can, you know, help out a little bit. Maybe I am useful. And so he goes further and further until he goes hollow, and that's when his daughter finds him in Ash Lake. And I think she has to kill him. And that's how the storyline is, just, you know, genuinely a heartbreaking experience. And so you find them near the bonfire in Ash Lake. And she's sort of laying next to the corpse of her father. Let's see the pyromancy. Yeah, what am I doing? I need a fire shield. What shield do I have? So I think you would still get the spectacled ring or whatever I just got. I don't know if there's anything actually over here you need to get. I thought I was killing him pretty quickly, but it's not quick enough. Alright, it's legit. No, okay, I guess, you know, if you're into that, it could be worth it. And potentially now to the worst boss in the game. I have 28,000 souls. I don't think I have any more rings of sacrifice. Yeah, if I have one. I don't need critical. Poise could help so I don't get knocked down. Physical. I mean, that's slight. Everything that could help. Fire defense could help. Physical could help. I'm going to go with fire, I guess. I'm really bummed. And I apologize. Again, I was a little impatient. I knew I didn't have what I needed. I'm going to lose these souls, by the way. Alright, so here we go. The worst boss fight in the game. I don't actually love Nito's that much either, but this one is just crap. And I usually do it in 3. I try and do it in 3. I'm not going to be successful. There's ways you can do it where you can just get into one spot and then just start lobbing fire bombs if you know how to aim. But basically it's like, destroy 3 things, but what's going to end up happening in part 2 is it's going to be like random... Just random everything. I don't know if it starts me where I was or if it starts me back in the middle. No. Okay. So now... parts of the floor are going to fall off. He's going to sweep attack. It feels very random. So sometimes it's actually easier to just die and start over from the middle. Because that's what happens. Okay, so... actually, I don't know why I bothered. Let's see. I'm forgetting which one it's called. There we go. So the good news about this boss fight, though, is I think it at least remembers what stage you're at. I'm hoping. Man, I'm still bummed about Sigmire. And that's the thing with the Souls game, right? Like, everything is so tenuous. The NPC quests are so precarious. But what are you going to do? The only thing you can do is start all over. Another thing I don't do in these Souls games, I don't New Game Plus them. Even like, I would rather start over from 0 than to start over with New Game Plus. And I think that's true. Not that I have New Game Plus Elden Ring, but that's... Okay. Yeah, I mean, you see, it's just like, okay, whatever. So luckily we only need to okay whatever it through that glowing orb that was in front of us and then something down the middle, which is a little tricky. It's a little bit like the boss early on in the game in the lower undead burg, you know, the goat head one where it's in the confined space. And my confusion was I was always trying to run straight to the stairs when I really needed to break right a little bit before going to the stairs. And this is a little bit in that sense where you think you're going to try and go right for something in the middle, but it's just off to the right. And so chances are I'll probably miss the jump the first 3 or 4 times because I'll aim wrong, but might not be anything to do about that. If you don't care about just sprinting by everything, it's not the worst boss run to get back to it. It's just such an annoying... And maybe, again, is one of those bosses I just haven't quote-unquote learned, but it feels entirely random. On some level, just like things swinging everywhere, the floor falling. But maybe there's a pattern to it that I just don't grok. And honestly, at this point, like, I probably never will. Does it remember the floor damage? It seems to, right? Oops. So now 2 down, but now it gets harder, I think. Now, my understanding, though, is that the lore behind all this is actually pretty interesting. But I don't care, because... Okay, so the next step is right down the middle, but it's not quite right down the middle. You gotta go a little off center. Because when you approach, the floor should break. And then you want to land on that root right there. And that's a little bit like the end of Demon Souls, where you get to the middle and inside is actually this decrepit core. Oh, I didn't think you could still get hurt once you got here, but okay. And that's it. Okay, so we got Seath, we've got this one, so the only one left is the one I kind of hate almost as much as this. Let's get strength up to 40, and that is the Catacombs. The only reason why I'm standing back up instead of warping is because I know I picked up some souls. I have a feeling, though, I'm not going to have enough to get to, like, 40,000 or whatever. I got closer than I thought, though. Okay, I think that's it. Let's get out of here. I was about to reinforce this, but then part of me is like, why? Because I seem to be doing this like as a half-naked run. So, all right, let's get out of here. Let's go to the Firelink Shrine. And we'll see where we go from there. I wonder if the Pyromancer has anything to say after he sort of wrecked shop down in...
Oh, hello there. You've been a stranger these days. Why? What spectacular pyromancy. Tell me about it. I have never seen anything like it. Why, yes, of course. Thank you for sharing. I'm still an able pyromancer. I shall locate her myself. Owning your debt once again.
Oh, maybe that's what you do to trigger the...
My teacher, who I imagine still resides in the Great Swamp, had a funny way of putting it. He said that pyromancy is the ultimate fantasy. We are born in the dark and warmed by fire, but this fire we cannot touch. Those whose fascination with fire persists learn to hold it in their own hand. He rather had a way with words, the old withering frog. In this land, pyromancers...
I wonder, maybe I'll swing down there.
The Witch of Izalith, one of the legendary lords, is the godmother of pyromancy. So the day I became undead, I was ecstatic. I felt as if I'd been chosen to attune myself to the ancient arts. Of course, it wasn't all that romantic in the end. The pyromancer's flame, is it? The flame, when I gave you that for peace...
So it was not a happy ending, but flash sweat, no. Iron flesh, you can't move, but you can take a hit. Let's grab a couple. That might have helped with Sigmire. Again, you don't need any items to pump this up. You don't need any stat requirements. It's just like a really accessible form of magic. I'm gonna warp down to, I guess, the Chamber of the... No, sorry, Daughter of Chaos. Let's just go take a look. I'm sure that I've probably seen the Pyromancer at some point, but I just don't recall. And for some reason, I thought at some point the Pyromancer might die? Or does it just disappears? I don't really know. Of course, I blew my whole pyromancy budget just now. I probably should have saved it for potentially buying spells that this one offers that the other one doesn't. Now they sit, I thought, at the base of one of these pillars. But I'm wondering if it's... Nope. Alright. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, it's the same guy. Or did he just... Oh, maybe he went hollow. Let me rest at this bonfire and reset the area, and maybe the other person shows up, or maybe that's his pathway to going hollow. And if nobody's here, then I'll just Warp back up. Oh well. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go start Nito. How am I doing on time? Yeah, let's at least start it, and then we'll figure it out. Again, I genuinely don't enjoy much of this part, so Firelink Shrine. So we've been running through it for a while now, so let's actually officially introduce ourselves to everything along this path. Still gonna sprint by it. But I do have the blessed club, divine club, that can take those guys out permanently. Basically, I'm just making a run for it to get to the first bonfire. And I think I'm doing it wrong. Maybe not. So the way this works is once you kill that guy, I think you can permanently kill the skeleton. So it's sort of something that, you know, they started in Demon Souls, right? You gotta... But there was like in World 4.2 or something. Probably should kindle that one, but we'll see how it goes. Where you kill the one guy and then all of the ghosts die. And then here it's you kill that one guy and then the skeletons, I think, no longer come back. And that's a, you know, I don't remember Dark Souls 2, actually, or even 3 in some weird ways much. But it's something they continue in like an Elden Ring. So you just have to, you know, they're sort of like they have a range. So you just have to keep making your way forward until you find the next one of those. And I think this one's over here. And again, these areas might be just worse than I remember them. Because again, I struggled through a lot of this. The Lucerne. That was, again, I mentioned my friend a couple times. He really liked Lucerne as well. If he didn't get the catching pole. Of course, in my first run, I was probably trying to do all this with the lightning spear, which is probably not ideal. And there's a way you can sort of shortcut it if you know where to, like, jump or fall or... all right. Trying to make our way down, and I've gotten turned around here, so I apologize. There's a couple of trap floors, so I was seeing maybe if that was the trick to get through. Here we go. All right. Now, I don't know if those guys are going to stay down or not. And there's a way to get another... There's another bonfire there, but the way to get it is not through here. Okay, so we've opened up the next passageway. Taking those like a... Here's where you can sort of fall off if you know what you're doing. That helps. All right. Let's take a moment here. So you can't obviously drop from one platform to the other because they keep them rotated for landing on spikes, but I thought there was a way to jump. You know what? Don't quote me on anything. I don't know what to... Oh, maybe here. Is that worth doing? Oh, here also. This is a dumb question. Have we encountered patches yet in this game? No, I guess we wouldn't have yet. Oops, nope. I gotta rest. All right. Again, there's a lot of things to discover and explore, but part of me doesn't care because... I've basically got everything I need, as far as I know. So you can jump there and then jump there. I wonder if that's worth doing. Okay. All right. I don't know if that was worth it, but let's see what happens. Oh. Most times I miss this guy.
Be gone with you. You spoil my focus.
All right, so he's a blacksmith, and what he's really good at is flame stuff.
Why? Is that an ember from New Londo? And a fine ember it be. What'd he say? Why not leave it with me? I'll give you a flame to feast your eyes upon. Yes, yes, very well. We'll get these old bones to work.
So yeah, if we wanted to do fire equipment or yeah, there's a if you take Queeleg's soul, the Spider Queen, and you convert certain types of swords into her Fury sword, you can sort of do a ton of fire damage based on how much humanity you have on you. So I remember my friend used to sort of walk around with 10 humanity on him and use the Fury sword a lot of the time. I don't really know what's a good weapon at this point. So let's just
What's that about? Don't be coming up.
oh, you know, I probably should have exhausted his dialogue.
An ember, do you? What has gone wrong with embers these days? I'm here to smith.
Okay, maybe there's nothing to say. Let's see what he has. Homeward Bones. Sure. Oh well.
What was that about? Don't...
But the nice thing is, yes, there's a bonfire here. And because he wants to kick you out, he breaks a hole in the wall that sort of gets you where you need to go. But you gotta be careful because there's a whole mess of these. I feel like there's more. You can kind of run for it if you want. All right. Was there anything else over here? So to get that, you have to sort of fall an exact right way, and then you can actually do a summon from there that can help out and blah, blah, blah. I thought there was also like a Black Knight or something. I think this is the quote-unquote real way to come. So let's go the other way, I think. So what some people do when they play these games and they're really good is they can sort of skip through a lot of what we just did and beeline straight for this first boss over here, which is, actually, I can't remember. Pinwheel? I think that's what's something pinwheel. Pinwheel. It seems like a weird name for it, but it's, I think, what it is. And it's not the toughest boss in the world, which is why I think people like to do it as quickly as possible, because it's a quick way to get, like, I don't know, 10 grand souls. We'll see how many souls it gets you. But you can sort of speed through it. But then, of course, you got to climb your way back out, which feels like a drag. But I guess if you're good enough to speed your way down, maybe you know how to speed your way back up. And I think what it's going to do is going to create copies of itself, so you got to make sure you hit the real one. But I think the real one's easy to tell because it's the one right in front of you at the beginning. And you just go straight for it. And that's it. Now, the Rite of Kindling also, it's what you need to get your bonfires up past 10. So you can, I think, bump them up to like 20. So yeah, 15,000 souls at the beginning is not bad. But, you know. Now it's, I don't get out of bed for less than 20 grand, if you know what I mean. But, and now, God, it's the worst part of the game, and I have not attuned magic. Yeah. Oh my God. Well, at least that's gonna put me back at the bonfire, so I can attune magic properly, which I forgot to do. I thought there was a bonfire right there. Okay. I can't describe how much I really dislike this part of the game. So let's see. We need some kind of magic wand. We'll go with the ooze seal one because I think that's a good one. Oh, I have a catch pole. Interesting. All right. Let's see if I can fast roll. Yep, I can. Can I speed run past these? Hopefully, yes. Because I don't care. Just have to get to the next. Bonfire, which isn't too far in. And they give you those, you know, those glowing stones to follow, and somehow I still screwed it up, but all right, let's see how we do. Now, in fairness, like, I don't feel like this was as, like I think, like, Lost Izalith is just straight up trash, you know? This, I feel like, has some, I don't know, design to it. I just don't like it. You can sort of see the glowing eyes. The good news is, though, I think once they're down, they stay down. And they do guide you, I think, basically to the first bonfire. But again, there's, you know, stuff here you can collect. I don't care. The more annoying ones are, there's like these dog creatures that are just like, ugh, you gotta be kidding me. And I used to sort of have it memorized, but not anymore. Here we go. Old patches.
Good day. You look reasonably sane.
Right back at you, boy.
Catacombs. Are you a cleric or something? No? Really? Then I'd have no qualms telling you. There's a fine stash of treasure right down that hole. I found it first, but, well, we're friends now, so I'll split it with you. In any case, have a look. It'll shimmer you blind.
All right, let's get this done. Is there anything else we need to say to exhaust his dialogue, or?
There.
Okay. The light spell's not even that bright. But basically what I want to do is I want to get to the... I don't know if I've missed the first bonfire already, but basically there's a bonfire you get to. And then at one point I sort of had the muscle memory down to sort of get to the second bonfire. And then once you get there, you just sort of speed run your way past a bunch of crap, and then you're on your way to the next boss. There's the skull lantern that'll let you get through the tomb without a shield. But now we're about to come across the NPC quest. If we remember her from up above, the travelers that were praying in the area just off Firelink.
Hollow, are you? Thank goodness. Please be careful. There are two fierce hollows not far from here. They were once brave knights, my former escorts. Who would let such strong spirits be hollowed so? Heavens, is there nothing at all to be done?
So let's make sure we've exhausted. But basically that's it. She's
Please be careful. There are two fierce
her companions went hollow.
from here. They were once...
I'm not exactly sure where they were trying to go. Nope, I'm gonna die here because I'm trying to be greedy. Okay, one down. I was gonna say, if I can get a backstab, it's not so bad. So I assume she must have been trying to get down to Nido, but I don't know why.
You banished those two hollows, did you? It pains me to think of the trouble my failings have caused. I am certain that both Vince and Nico are grateful.
They looked
to
grateful.
you. Thank you so very much. Here, these belonged to them. You deserve them more than I.
Okay, it's a miracle. It's that I...
I am certain that
So now it's just a matter of getting out of here. And there's some other enemies you can deal with, and you can explore around and pick up some stuff. Oh, I guess I don't one-shot those. Yeah, I just want to get out of here. I don't actually care, again, about any of this. Yeah, hopefully that's enough to get me out of here. Is this where I just went? Oh, crap, it is. Okay. So this is a form of, like, you know, an Elden Ring where you get to the snowfields up top and you basically limit your visibility. And it's kind of like, okay. I'm never actually a huge fan of that myself. It's, games do it all the time, but I like exploring. And so when you take away being able to see, obviously it makes exploring. Here, obviously this game doesn't pretend to be an exploration game quite the way Elden Ring does in its open world. Different kinds of exploration, I guess, is something I should say, but you can drop in there and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's a real fight though. You got, like tons of people swarming you. It's a real mess. So I'm gonna skip it. There's Patches. Let's talk to him.
Oh, you. Well, let's just calm down. Talk about things. I did you wrong, but I didn't mean it. These temptations, they can, well, overcome me. You know what I mean, don't you? Please.
I think if you say no, you can get something from him.
You and me, we're jolly undead outcasts, aren't we? For heaven's sake, let's not mope about, eh? You're still alive? I said I'm sorry. Wait, I know.
And then I think you say all's well after he gives you something. And I think he has a whole... Oh, there you go. He has a whole storyline I think you can follow, but I've never actually done it in this game. I don't know. When I said, have we run into Patches yet? Because I thought there was something he does when you...
I did you wrong. These temptations.
When you're outside. Like he can flip a bridge over that you've already crossed or something, or when you're on it.
Forgive me.
Okay, let's see if we can find... So we can find these bonfires. These things. Oh my god, I hate these things. At least we can kill them in 2 shots, because we have a decent weapon, but... If you don't have the Black Halberd, like, I don't know, there's been times where I've just, feels like you have to spend all week fighting them, and they hit hard, they knock you off ledges that you didn't realize were there because it's pitch black. All sorts of business. Oh, another chance to get a halberd, I guess. So glad I'm caught on a bone. Can't tell if this is a Silver Knight or a Black Knight. I wonder, are there Silver Knight halberds? I don't think I've ever encountered one. The real trick to this is just don't freak out and be patient. But it is irritating. At least to me. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there are people that just love this stuff. I don't know. Yep. So I'm trying to remember where I... Like, am I back by the, black? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I know part of it is I blame the game for my own failures here. But I just do not like this. Now imagine if you hadn't found that bonfire, right? you would have had to run down a couple of layers of catacomb before you even got to this point. I know it's not yet, but I feel like I'm missing this first bonfire. Like, can you... I thought you could sort of see the extinguished bonfire from somewhere. Like if you look over a ledge or something. Whoop, don't fall off. There's patches, okay. There we go. That's a start, all right. So that's the first one. Now we got to make our way to the second one. You know what? Yeah, no, that's fine. I rested, right? Okay. So you don't need to... Okay. That last time I died, it was just stupid, right? Because this, I should have known this thing was right. I should have been looking, and I wasn't. So I know you can jump off here, and there's a bunch of those creatures that sort of pop out of the ground and spin with all their hands. Right now, I'm just trying to get to the next bonfire. There we go. Okay. So this one I'm going to kindle. Well, you know what? First of all, let's spend this stuff. We got 40 strength. So I guess next is... Let's do endurance. Yeah, let's do vitality. I'm happy with the amount of clothing I'm wearing, so... let's reverse hollowing. Now, the reason why we're going to do this one, because this is the boss run bonfire, I believe. And if we wanted to, we could kindle this one up to 20 now. But I don't think I have enough souls picked up to get me to like 50,000. So let's hold off on that. Now, this one doesn't have to be bad. You know, you can sort of, if I remember it right, you sort of hug the wall a little bit and things ignore you. But then I think you want to... Nope. This feels going the wrong way. So let me take care of this guy, because I just clearly not remembering. You just fall off? I think you just fall off. I think that's it. Or maybe you go down here. Drop down. Yeah, once you get here, you're fine. And so this was the first time I encountered Ash Lake. And I was kind of like, what is going on here? And I was just... Oh, I'm going to get invaded, just so you know. And I was just floored by what I saw. I loved the idea of it. I loved the look. All right, Paladin Leroy. Pretty big hammer. And there we go. Grant. Is that? I'm wondering if Grant is a blessed weapon. Seems like it, right? Yeah, definitely. Okay, scales with faith and strength. I have no faith, so all right. But yeah, like I don't know. I was just really something about it just really captured my imagination. So there's a lot going on in this next section. It's a place where if you want, you can farm humanity. Oh, no, we're not quite there yet. We got this one more path to go. There's going to be things that pop out of the ground. There's a couple more. One I think might even pop up behind you so you can just sort of ignore it. Maybe not. But you can run past them. This one's tricky because they're trying to set you up here. But what you got to watch out for is this guy. Because he will just kick you right off the ledge. And then you keep going. So you got more of these pinwheels that you got to watch out for. They have, one of them has there's different masks, like mask of the mother, mask of the father, whatever. Oops. Just keep going for it. There's probably important crafting items you can pick up. But again, we don't care because we have our weapon. And this fight is not necessarily hard. It's just tricky. If, you can make that distinction. Because there's a lot of adds to it. And you just sort of have to keep your eye on the prize. But there's like sound cues you have to look for. There's visual cues you have to look for. It's a lot going on. Now, if you can get here before you fight Nito, you can join the Gravelord Covenant, which, we encountered earlier. But you do that through the catacombs, through another path, etc., etc. We didn't do it. So there he is. He's going to bring a lot of undead with him that we're not going to be able to kill permanently, but you can let him do his area of effect attacks. Oops. And he'll take care of most of them. Okay, let's get some distance. We don't want to go too far into the level because he has a bunch of minions, so we can let him clear. He's about to... What you gotta watch out for... Well, he can do like an area of effect explosion. So you just gotta keep an eye out for when he sort of hunches down. I think he's really susceptible to fire. This is the hunching down, and I'm on the wrong side of him, so this is going to go poorly. But that should clear out his minions. For a little bit. It's getting greedy. I thought I could take him out before he blew, but I could not. Alright, so let's finish him off. There we go. When he goes, everybody goes. So yeah, you end up coming down here through like a transporting coffin, and that gets you into the Covenant. All right, and let's warp out of here. We're done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to... What's it called? It's not Firelink Shrine. Can we not teleport to... We're going to teleport to the Abyss. And I guess we'll have... I looked it up. It's not Frem. His name is Kath or Kaith. We're going to have him teleport us where we need to go.
If you wish, I shall grant the art of life drain, the legendary power.
Okay. I didn't know about that.
It can preserve your humanity while undead, and cast off the shackles placed upon your brethren. Undead warrior.
I'm not really looking to join that kind of covenant, though.
Is premature. It begins with your retrieval of the Lord vessel. Very well. Be still. Entrust thy flesh to
I thought we could teleport to the Lord vessel. Let's see if it does all three or if we have to do it a bunch of different times. And technically speaking, that's it. We could go win the game right now if we wanted. So here you get to the kiln of the first flame. Lord Gwyn is in there waiting for us. A bunch of his silver knights, his, royal guard, block our way. So it's a bit of a boss run, but it's not too crazy. But, we're not there yet, I guess. Instead, let us warp. To the Undead Parish. Let's head back down to the Darkroot Basin. First, let me get the right ring on. Oh yeah, that's the right one. Okay. as we return again to familiar ground. Now, I'm not going to, I don't know what level I am. I'm, 86? Again, I keep saying, like, this is sort of a if I can do it, anybody can do it run, but the DLC is a notch harder than just about anything else in the game. And you've already seen how bad I am at the base game itself. So Artorias, if I can do Calamite, if I can do... I don't know if I've actually ever beaten Manus solo. So it may get messy once again, and who knows how it's going to go. It might get really annoying to watch. But basically, we've done everything we need to beat Dark Souls proper. So when this game originally came out, I played it, like I said, on the Xbox 360. I said that at one point. And that was it. I got to Gwyn, was completely overwhelmed. And so what I would do is I had to go farm humanity somewhere so that I could try and summon Solaire. And I think I even had to go back and summon tons of humanity to unlock the secret passageway so I could make sure so I could then go back and do his storyline to fruition so that he could help me team up on Gwyn. And I remember I probably fought Gwyn dozens of times. I probably should be saving this for when I actually go fight Gwyn, but I just couldn't. And so I remember I was getting low on humanity again, and there's always a point where I get to these games and I'm like, I think I'm going to quit. Like, I know I'm right at the end. I could just go YouTube the end of the movie. Like, I might have hit a wall I can't break through. And so I was running into that again because I had gone and spent hours farming for humanity, so I'd have like another 10 tries, and I was on my last couple. And it's one of those things. It's what makes, but when you're on the other side of it, it's what makes Dark Souls so awesome. You're like, your hands are shaking because you're so much adrenaline pumping through you, and you're down to the final hit for both of you, and you just get the lucky strike, and you win, and blah blah blah. So here's the Crown of Dust. So unfortunately, it looks like in some timelines, Princess Dusk doesn't make it. So by getting the pendant in that blue golem, it's what allows you to do this. I don't know lore-wise why it's like that. That's the hand of Manus dragging you into the abyss. I don't know how people figured that out, to be honest with you. But here we are. This is officially the DLC of... And now we can, as far as I know, we can warp back and forth. We're good to go. But right away, like, let me just spend that humanity to kindle this one. It's probably a waste, but I think... Oh, I've got 20 because, the Lord Vessel is automatically fully kindled because I dumped all the Lord Souls in there. But right away, they just hit you with a bit of a beast of a... boss fight. So I wasn't actually expecting to see a human player. I thought it was going to be an NPC, which is why I was kind of curious who it was. But GNU Linux is not an NPC quest line I'm familiar with. So let's see how it goes. Looks like he's got a dex weapon going. Oops. No time to... I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of... There's a part of me that doesn't mind the idea of summoning people for every single fight in this game. Here in the DLC. Artorias, though, is kind of fun going one-on-one. That's a good fight. But Calamite, Manus, I don't care. So here's something interesting. I feel like this sword in the... Maybe it's a different color, but maybe I'm hallucinating. So there we go. We got first past that sort of opening little boss that just throws you right in there. But then I think they sort of get it, like, okay, we're being jerks, so let's give them another bonfire. And we're pretty... You know what? Let's use them all. You know, actually, let's hold off, because that's all we need for a level.
Well, look at this one. From what faraway age hast thou come? Thy scent is very human indeed, but not intolerable.
Well, thank you.
Ah, Princess Dusk's savior. Thine aura is precisely as she described. I thank thee deeply for rescuing Her Highness. But Princess Dusk is here no longer, snatched away by that horrifying primeval human. And so I must ask, couldst thou once more play the savior? Thank you.
Wonder what happens if you say no.
Elizabeth, guardian of this sanctuary, something of a godmother to Princess Dusk. I shall assist thee to my utmost, for I am one with the sorceries of Urasil. Thou shalt see further on, an abyss was begat of the ancient beast, and threatens to swallow the whole of Urasil. Knight Artorias came to stop this, but such a hero has nary a murmur of dark. Without doubt he will be swallowed by the abyss, overcome by its utter blackness. Indeed, the abyss may be unstoppable. Still, I have faith that Princess Dusk may be rescued yet. Thou shalt see.
So you see, the basic setup of the story is the princess is in another castle.
Indeed, still.
I don't need any of these. What about that? Nope, I'm good.
May the flames guide thee.
And yeah, so the idea is that, Princess Dusk was, here. Manus sort of took her hostage and is sort of dragging the town of Oosil into the abyss. Now, some of the things I've read on the internet sort of recently were that I don't know how true this is. The sorcerers of Oosil were sort of experimenting on Manus, and that's sort of what got him sort of to the pumped up evil thing that he became. My understanding is that we've sort of traveled back in time roughly 100-ish years. It seems like it'd have to be more. But that's, again, something I was reading on the internet. Yeah, and that's and so again, the sorcerers of Oosil were experimenting on, if you have fall control, you might be able to fall down there, or maybe there's ways to fall down there, and if you quit out at the exact right moment, you end up down there. Anyway, Manus is sort of the furtive pygmy that was mentioned in the opening. This might be wrong. This is some of the things I've read, is sort of the furtive pygmy mentioned in the opening things. The abyss sort of is humanity, in a sense, which is why it doesn't hurt us, because we have the dark soul, which means that we have humanity in us. There's a lot to explore here. Again, because I don't need to explore it, I just do not care. So I'm just sort of getting by. There's Calamite. Hello, sir. Yeah, and so, through that experimentation, they've sort of corrupted Manus. They've, tortured him, etc. Oops. This area's a little tricky because you gotta make sure you don't. There's like gaps that you can fall into. Again, I'm just trying to make my way around the horn. Over to here. So it's sort of unlocking shortcuts so when we die at that bonfire, we can just sort of do a straight run, or maybe there's a different way to get there. These guys you gotta be careful of. Not these guys. The stone giants behind them. They hit pretty hard, and they also have some area of effect attacks. Like if they slam into the ground and pull their weapon out, it can, they explode, so you gotta watch out for that, stuff like that. For now, let's keep going. So what we're going to do here, that's Artorias, and we're going to go over here and unlock the other elevator that I said we could fall down if you had fall control. I don't know if that's true, but I've seen people do some version of it. Anyway, so they sent Artorias over to try and stop Manus and all this stuff going on. This guy's...
Let me guess. Snatched by a shadowy limb and dragged off to the past? Yes, of course. Exactly what happened to me. We are both strangers in this strange land. But at least now there are two of us. Did you happen across Knight Artorias? The legendary abyss walker from the old tales? Well, if you haven't, it's just as well. He's a colorless sort, if you ask me. So, what did that giant mushroom make you do?
Again, we're just exhausting
Not that
dialogue.
I care. It's none of my business.
Basically,
I've little to
the
talk
quest
about,
here is to
really.
return Ooseal to
know
Princess
me.
Dusk.
What do I
She's
know?
been captured by Manus. Manus became a monster because of Ooseal's experimentation, I believe. And Artorias was sent down to kill Manus, but became corrupted, etc., etc. And as I was saying, he, with his last effort, he saved his dog. I was kind of hoping that there'd be somebody to summon, because why not? But I expect this to go poorly because it's been a while since I fought Artorias, and he is a tough fight. Let's give it a shot. You sort of got the abyss curse going on there. Nope. All right. Trickiest part of this fight is getting the distance just to heal up. Because he'll do that. So here he's going to sort of buff up. I just let him. You can, I think, interrupt it if you can do enough damage, but if you don't, you get hit with that, and then it gets really hard. Nope. Timed that completely wrong again. I'm going to try healing there. Now, I don't know if that buff wears off eventually. A lot of this is it's a duel, so you just can't get greedy. Sometimes there's three. It's gonna buff up again. I'm gonna heal just because I have the extra potions from when I was up at the Lord Vessel. Thought I timed that too early, but I got lucky, I guess. Basically, that lunge is the easiest. I'm sorry. I mean, I know I talk too much anyway, but I'm sorry I'm not talking more now. This is a little bit more of a fight. Let's see if I get it. Okay, cool. Nope. I hadn't seen that before. It's not doing that lunge. Nope. Got greedy. Just YOLO'd there and got it. Nice. The crazy thing about that fight is that, one of his arms is gone. I think he's supposed to be left-handed, so it's his weak arm that he's using. I always thought that was kind of like, wow, all right. I think you can do PvP here. I think that's an arena they added because people are doing PvP so much. Sort of codify it, make it official, give some people a place so they don't have to figure it out on their own. Or maybe I'm just remembering there was a lot of dueling going on that bridge. Now, I don't think we have the key we need to open this. Yeah. We encountered Calamite. In order to... You can fight Calamite. Oh, I think you can fight... Well, maybe you can't. I don't know. You need to unlock that because there's another blacksmith up there that will give you a fighting chance with Calamite. So, let's see what this is over there. We don't really need it, but... Now, I didn't want to say anything while I was doing the Artorias battle, but it's one of the tougher fights in the game, I would say, but it's also, in a weird way, kind of like quaint after like Elden Ring and stuff like that. It really doesn't doesn't hold the same, I don't know what, as it used to. Because basically, you know, for the time, you know, that was like, wow, what a duel. But now, like, every fight's turned into that in Souls games. So it's not like it's not that unusual anymore. Again, if you know what you're doing, you can sort of sequence break by falling down that hole and somehow either surviving through fall control or I don't know what, sort of quitting and restarting. Oops. So here's the sorcerers that have been the problem. You gotta watch out. I think, is this an ambush? Yeah. As always, it's, you know, go read the lore stuff. You know, people really put a lot of time in there and do an excellent job sort of explaining everything to some degree or another. And it's a really fascinating fantasy story that is hard to parse when you're just running around whacking everything. I don't know if I have the right shield. I do not. Let's get that going. All right, again, check the chain. We're good. Okay. Now what we need to find is, there's some of the dark sorcery. We need to find a silver pendant, I believe. And I'm not 100% sure where it is, but I thought it was here in sort of the side passages. And you can do this without finding the silver pendant, but if you don't have it, it makes a lot of this a lot harder. Specifically Manus, because what it does is it lets you completely reflect these dark sorceries. And there's sort of a trick to it that they might have had to give you a hint because nobody was figuring it out. Just have to figure out where. It's basically behind a secret passage and nobody can figure out how to open the secret passage. So this might be it. Let there be light. So luckily, here's the other reason why you need so what you do for the silver pendant, I believe you put it in your offhand, I think. Or do you, no, or is it in a... There you go. So what you can do is you have it and then you can use it and that sort of reflects back any sorcery. Can I make this jump? My heart tells me yes, so let's see. I feel like there's something tricky up here. An ambush, sure. Oh, that's what it is. I think this is an NPC ambush, so let me... I'm hoping it's an NPC, because otherwise we're going to be standing here all day. Alright, maybe I gotta go for it. Oh, it's him. It's the merchant we just talked to. I wonder what his story is. Oh. Didn't check the chain. I thought it was curved back, but I didn't realize there was a little bit more coming forward. All right, you know what? Let's stop there. Again, this is Black Lodge Trivia Night. We appreciate everybody that's been checking these out, and for those that have subscribed, we really appreciate you as well. Hopefully, you've been enjoying some of these things. There's going to be some more Dark Souls, obviously, but I'm going to get back to Darklands as far as the CRPGs go when I'm done with this. More importantly, though, it's about the actual plays of RPGs. It's about our Damn Fine Coffee Topics podcast. And it's about the Bookhouse Boys, where we just go through RPG books. Everything's here on YouTube if you want to watch it. If you're watching this, you already know where we are. But if you want the audio versions, just look up Black Lodge Trivia Night, wherever you get your podcasts, and we should show up. But until next time, thanks again. Appreciate it. There's another actual play coming up later this week. And we'll go from there. So thanks again and take care. Bye-bye.